What is the defining difference between a customer and a fan? The secret power of enthusiasm, how customers become fans. Hey everyone, this is Canon Wing with Inspiration to Millions. Today we are going to discuss why infusing your brand with enthusiasm is the secret ingredient to keep your customers coming back for more. To jumpstart your progress, I'm going to share with you 3 ways to infuse and enthuse so your brand can come out of nowhere and be an inspiration to millions. So, what is the defining difference between a customer and a fan? When was the last time you saw an ad publicizing the release date for the new Air Jordans? You don't see that advertised because Nike doesn't need to advertise it. Their enthusiastic customers advertise it for Nike by lining up around the block the night before, by sending out secret messages to let the people in the in crowd know. These customers have become fans. Maybe you would argue they aren't exactly fans of Nike though. They're fans of Michael Jordan. Okay, fair enough to say the shoes are named after one of the best basketball players of all time. But Michael Jordan has been retired for almost 20 years. And these sneaker fans include millions of millennials. What's kept Air Jordans on the court so many years after Michael Jordan's retirement? The answer is brand enthusiasm. Over 2 decades ago, Michael Jordan's legacy created an enthusiastic brand story around being the best. Today, that story is still alive and well. Why? Because enthusiasm is contagious. It goes on and on. One of my favorite writers and philosophers, Ralph Waldo Emerson, he said this: enthusiasm is one of the most powerful engines of success. Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. With that in mind, let's take a quick scientific look at enthusiasm. MRI neuroimaging has proven that consumers primarily use emotions when they're deciding what to buy. In fact, when the area of the brain that produces emotions becomes damaged, that person loses the ability to make any personal decisions at all. They can't decide what they'd like to eat, wear, watch. They basically stop having opinions. These MRI neural studies centered around determining why we buy have been conducted again and again over the past 10 years, because it's very important stuff, by universities worldwide, from Harvard to Oxford to the University of Glasgow. The results are unanimous. The decision to buy is emotional. It is always emotional. Now, there's a new discovery in brain science that has the scientific community all abuzz. It's called epigenetics. For a century, scientists believed that the human mind was unchangeable and entirely at the mercy of our genes, that we all just have to play whatever hand we were dealt with at birth. Turns out, that's not so true. Now we know the human brain alters its structure, cell count, circuitry, chemistry, you name it, all as a direct result of everything we do, experience, think, and believe. Here's the secret branding power in this discovery. Further research revealed that enthusiasm as the key emotion that triggers the most neural activity. No other emotion cuts away from the beaten pathways of the brain to forge new neural connections more dramatically than enthusiasm. And now it's a scientific fact that no other emotion has the power to literally change a person's mind more effectively than enthusiasm. Can you see where I'm going with this? Enthusiasm is catchy. I used to joke that I wish I was cool, but I'm not. I'm just enthusiastic. I've never been so grateful that I'm not so cool. So now that we're inspired with that sage wisdom of Emerson and reinforced with that irrefutable scientific proof, let's dive right in together and discuss the 3 ways to infuse and enthuse your ideal individuals. They are clear values, customer appreciation, and creative connections. The first and most vital is clear values. A brand has the ability to take our pursuits, our purpose, our passions, and make them bigger than ourselves. A brand has the ability to reach out to more people and connect with them on a personal level more than any one person with a dynamic idea or stellar product could do. These are the far-reaching positive ripples of branding power. But remember, as an entrepreneur or a brand manager, you're still the one who creates that first ripple. You decide what goes into the sea of consumers. You're the initiating energy, the source. The ingredients you infuse into your brand will determine the effect your brand has on others. Does that sound like a lot of responsibility? It is. And it's all with great responsibility. Tremendous privilege awaits those who enthusiastically infuse their brand with clear and unwavering values. Now, we know the decision to buy is always an emotional decision. No one is ever just exchanging money for goods and services. The exchange is emotional, energetic. There's a promise involved, a trust. Exchanging enthusiasm will generate more enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is catchy. When you create your brand's core values, so they are clearly defined and consistently representing, your consumers' trust is free to flourish into fandom. Fans are defined by their enthusiasm. The roaring crowd, right? The cheers from the stand, the headbang mosh pit, the line that goes all the way around the block at midnight for an Apple product or an Air Jordan, right? These are all infused with contagious, reverberating enthusiasm. Build trust with clear values and make enthusiasm your main ingredient, and you've got the winning recipe to transform your consumer, your customer, into fans for life. This is brand loyalty. And no matter what business you're in, brand loyalty is your business plan. The next way to infuse and enthuse is customer appreciation. Whenever famous athletes, actors, and musicians accept an award, they almost always thank the fans, either first or last with the most passion. They say, without you guys, I wouldn't be here. We've heard that line 1,000 times because it's true. Without fans, there's no game. Sports fans that support their hometown teams are fiercely loyal. Even when their teams have a rough season, the hometown fans remain loyal and supportive. These diehard fans stay loyal, not because their team never loses the game, but because of what their team represents, their hometown. Hometown is loyalty. And hometown loyalty isn't easily shaken because it's reinforced with the uniting principle of sharing the same core values. When you build your brand like a hometown, you're uniting a community that shares the same values. Rewarding that loyalty solidifies your community. Appreciation infuses loyalty, and loyalty always deserves to be rewarded. Remember, no matter what business you're in, brand loyalty is your business plan. Some ways you can infuse loyalty in your brand community include exclusive promotions, exciting giveaways, free access to special content, free or discounted upgrades, brand holidays, customer recognition holidays, the inside scoop on when the new Nike Air Jordans are going to drop, right? You can gamify the user experience with identity ascension track like Audible does for its users, right? Are you at the master level on audio yet? That's 500 hours of audiobooks. My business partner is at that level. And don't tell him, but I'm secretly trying to catch up. Enthusiasm is so catchy. Infuse your brand with special perks for your loyal customers and watch their enthusiasm soar along with your profits. Customer plus enthusiasm plus loyalty equals a fan. Finally, the third, we have creative connections. Okay, Former SNL cast member and host of The Late Show, Jimmy Fallon, one of my favorites, has been called the most enthusiastic person in showbiz. I agree with this. And while Jimmy is undoubtedly talented, a great deal of his success is widely attributed to his enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is an energetic power. His closest friends have attested that Jimmy never seems to tire of interacting with his fans. He never shies away from stepping out in public because he feels good about giving his fans the opportunity to be acknowledged and appreciated by him. He exchanges enthusiasm with his fans, and his fans exchange enthusiasm back to him. The base continues to grow, one person at a time. Your brand can do the same. Jimmy must know the secret to life. Sharing enthusiasm never drains you. It only feeds you positive energy. Ellen DeGeneres is another great example of a notoriously enthusiastic television personality. She has been touted with having the most enthusiastic audience of any talk show host in the history of talk shows. Considering that lineup includes huge, iconic talk show hosts like Oprah and David Letterman and Johnny Carson. Having the most enthusiastic audience is quite an accomplishment. Ellen has a DJ on set for every live taping who takes audience requests, while Ellen herself hosts a mini dance party during every commercial break. She plays with her fans and personally interacts with them as though she's invited them to a party at her home. And by the time the cameras are rolling again, her fans are electrified from enthusiasm generated by making a creative connection with Ellen herself while dancing. Enthusiasm is catchy. What electrifies your audience? Get involved with the community your brand is creating. Interact in a fun and playful way that infuses delight and connect with your brand's community. The thing about fans is you can never have just one. Unite your brand's community like a hometown, and you'll have yourself a fan base, a fanhood. Some ways of connecting your brand's community is sharing content that isn't always related to the products or services you provide. Choose content for no other purpose than to bring a smile to someone's face. Share a laugh or connect as a community over a hot topic within your marketplace. Start conversations between your social media followers by infusing fun and interesting questions. Encourage conversation. Your brand community has already something in common, your brand. And when your brand has clear values, they are likely to share many of the same interests. Engage with them, and they will begin to exchange enthusiasm with one another. This will give your brand a fiercely loyal hometown advantage. Let's recap the 3 ways to infuse and enthuse so your brand can come out of nowhere and be an inspiration to millions. They are clear values, customer appreciation, and creative connections. Identify an area in your brand that could benefit from an infusion of enthusiasm today and run it through the 3 ways to infuse and enthuse. You can initiate a competition to get them enthused about your latest and greatest product. You could start a Twitter debate on a controversial topic that tangentially relates to your brand. You could award a long-term customer with free upgrades and make it public. Unite and delight your brand community, and before you know it, they will flourish into fandom. Thank you so much for joining us on our talk on how the secret power of enthusiasm can transform your customers into true blue, die-hard fans of your brand. Remember, you can buy a person's time, but you cannot buy their focus. You can buy a person's presence, but you cannot buy their enthusiasm. This can be only earned. Above all, enthusiasm and fandom are both just 2 more faces of love. So always remember the golden rule to love what you do and love how you do it. Thanks for watching. Don't miss out on a single thing. Subscribe below. And here's something else I think you'll love.